And it's great to have back Coach Kyle Davis, head coach of the Florala Wildcats. Week number 2 wraps up, week number 3 on its way. Coach, congratulations. Big win on Friday against Daleville.
Yeah, no, it was a big win, Robert. Our kids, played hard. I do think we improved from week one to last week. Defense was lights out again. Offense executed a little bit better this week than we did last week. And like I said last week, offense is always going to be behind defense, probably about in just whatever sport you play. It takes a little bit to get rhythm and timing and things like that. But we looked a lot better offensively last week than we have. We're still making adjustments, especially on our front, trying to find that, offensive line's not like a basketball team. It's not necessarily the best five; it's the best five that play the best together, kind of deal. And so we try to get out there and put a five together that's cohesive and working, and we're getting there daily. So it was a big win for us. It's where we wanted to be going into region play, 2-0, and I'm proud of my guys for kind of sealing the deal on those first two. Now we just got to get ready for for the real deal with the region play.
Coach, I know I'm asking a repeat question, but again, I mean, it was impressive that you won week 1 against a bigger school and with very limited amount of time for you to implement your game plan as an August hire. And now you've won a second game against a bigger school. And, you are growing that anticipation for a great year at Florala High when I think a lot of folks were anticipating maybe a little bit of a down year just because of that transitional period?
Well, yeah, a lot of people, just kind of coming in, kind of ask the same question. Well, what are your expectations? And our talent didn't change. The kids that we had on the field didn't change. It was just, me. And so what I kind of had to do was look at what I did, kind of find, the basics of what we do offensively, come in there and try to get that going first. And we've added a little bit every week. The kids, football IQ's been really high. They've been able to really handle, the things we've asked them to do. And like I said last week, Coach Green, man, he's been running this defense for a long time. Our kids are really solid in our defense and in what we do. So that's given me an opportunity on the offensive side to spend a little bit more time with it and get our guys a little bit more comfortable. But, it's just a testament to our kids, a testament to our coaching staff, guys that are committed to what we're trying to do. It's really easy to have a late coaching change. And, I've been there before where I've come in late on a coaching change and there's been some seniors that just hadn't really kind of bought into it. And, it's kind of been a rocky year. But, man, these seniors especially have bought into what we're doing. They know this is their last go around on it. They know that they want a good season, and I'm blessed that they bought into what we're doing, and they've kind of led with that example.
Who are the guys that stood out to you on Friday night against Daleville?
Well, defensively, again, I mean, it's a great group effort, but, Bradley Norman had a great game again. We had a great game in secondary. Grayson West had another interception. It got negated because of a, questionable roughing the passer penalty, but, it is what it is. And, but altogether, the defense played well. Elijah played well. Ray played well. The defensive line played well. Preston Trimmer he scored a touchdown on a defensive score. That was good for us. Offensively, it was kind of collective, man. Ray had a couple of touchdown pass receptions. Elijah had a touchdown pass reception. One of our new kids that came in, Carrington Garland, he had a touchdown pass reception. There were just some things that we saw on film that we felt like we could have some success with, and our kids were able to kind of execute it. Offensive line, I want to say, played a lot better than they did week 1. So, I mean, as a whole and as a collective, they really deserve a lot of credit because, again, it's real easy to blame the line when things go wrong because, you block somebody, is what you hear. But when things go right, a lot of times everybody else gets the credit. And that bunch, they did it right for a lot of the times. Yeah, they still made some mistakes, but, we put together, I felt like, for week 2, a pretty good offensive performance with that bunch.
With any win, there still are things that you may want to change, want to improve, things that you thought should be better. Let's look at that aspect of the game. What was there that happened against Daleville that you hope doesn't happen Friday night or make that Thursday night now against Georgiana?
Well, we did give up a lot of sacks. Again, I think we gave up 5+ sacks. You don't ever want to give up 5 sacks. But again, like I said, we've made some moves on the offensive line. We've moved some guys around that we feel like is going to help us. And then, like I said, with those 5 sacks, we also threw 4 touchdown passes. So we were able to protect long enough to get that done. I think defensively, we made some in-game adjustments, not necessarily after-game adjustments, but we made some in-game adjustments. They had a couple of scores off some big cutbacks on some runs. We weren't having cutback players where they needed to be. Coach Green made those adjustments in game, and we were able. They didn't score in the second half. Both their touchdowns came in the first half, so we were able to make those adjustments. Really right before halftime and definitely at halftime. And so again, it goes back to football IQ. Those kids being able to hear the correction on the sideline, hear the correction at halftime, and make that adjustment. So, but we're going to have to be there this week, because if we don't play cutback this week, Georgiana's going to hurt you. They got some great kids that run the football hard, and they're some talented kids, and they won big last year. I think they expect to win big again this year. I mean, a lot of people talk about them, and rightfully so, because they're a good football team.
Is it fair to say, with everybody trying to get comfortable with one another, that this 4-game homestand to begin the season has been an advantage?
Yeah, I think if you talk to a coach from another aspect, he kind of likes away games because the wait time, the sitting around is not. But yeah, from our logistical standpoint, man, and for like we've needed a little bit of time maybe to go over some things and get some opportunities, to be here at home and have a good home crowd in the first 2 games, and like you said, for 2 more after this. I feel like it has. I feel like the kids have felt comfortable playing in front of their community, and as a coach, you don't ever want to sit there and toot your kids' horns too much, because you want them to stay not too high, not too low. Next game's the biggest game. That's kind of been what we're talking about. But but really though, it has been. From a standpoint of playing bigger teams with more players on the team, and we got our 14 to 16 kids we play every game. I think it's been an advantage for them to sit up there and hear those, Florala people, that community pulling for them, hollering for them, being behind them. That made a difference.
Game has been moved up a day. I want to talk about that in itself. But first, the reason given officiating, there is a shortage of officials. You're an official in baseball, so you understand that in a lot of cases why officials are leaving the game. So how do you approach the people that come to you and say, hey, the officials shouldn't be impacting a game to the extent that we move a Friday to a Thursday game and cut short your work and practice week for an upcoming game, when that fans are kind of difficult on umpires, and that is playing a role in that shortage of officials?
Well, I think the first thing you got to say, it's the same for both teams, right? We're both having the same amount of time. They didn't know till Monday. We didn't know till Monday. It wasn't like, they were given a heads up on Sunday and could go out and get a Sunday practice in and kind of, move their day up, their week up. When I was at West End, we always played our opening game against Susanmore on a Thursday. So we knew in advance, and we would come out on Sunday and kind of start our Monday practice Sunday. So we had time to, but nobody had an advantage, I think, this week of anything like that. And look, here's the thing. Official shortage is real. It's real in every sport. You can't force people to come out and do a job. Pay them more money is what people say. Well, they've been paying them more money, and it's a tough job. If you don't have thick skin, or if you're not willing to be able to take a little bit. Some folks just don't have that. And so there's a true official shortage. And I've been trying to recruit guys to umpire for years in my associations that I'm around. Just kind of what it is. You won't get, especially young guys. There's no young people getting in it. And these older guys are been in it for years and years and years, and they can't do it forever, So I just kind of let them know it is what it is. Everybody deals with it. Now, probably we're low man on the totem pole being 1A, and I'm sure they didn't tell Enterprise that or things like that. And that's to be understood too, I think. Not from they're better than us standpoint, but just I think that, financials play a role in all kind of things. They probably look at things like that. So, it is what it is as far as that goes. The biggest thing is that our week didn't necessarily get cut short. We didn't miss a day, right? We're not going to have a walkthrough day like we would a normal Thursday before a Friday game. But our work days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to have work days. These kids are 14 to 18 years old. Recovery time, they don't need hours upon hours of recovery time. We're going to take good care of them tomorrow. We're going to be out there our regular hour and a half on a Wednesday, maybe about an hour and 45. We're going to run through everything we need to go through. And look, we're getting to the point in time in the season. I know it's just the 3rd game. But there's a lot of things that go on now that are repetition, right? There are things that we've learned it, and now we got to get good at it by repping it. So it's not so intensive as, we got to be out there 2.5 hours right now. Now it's more about, quality over quantity.
Do you anticipate this being the only game that is moved because of officiating, or do you think it could happen again?
I mean, for us, I don't know the answer, but overall, absolutely, it's going to happen again. I mean, it's now. I do think probably there could be a better way of going about it. I mean, I think you probably see the schedule at the beginning of the year, and you go, "Well, we can't cover that," and maybe go ahead and talk to somebody, 2 or 3 weeks in advance. Maybe that's something that could be done to kind of help the situation. But at the same time, a couple guys get COVID, and couple, they're out or whatever, and it may be not known. Maybe you had them to begin with, but injuries and things like that, cause officials to get out of the game too. So maybe they're put in a spot, with that kind of stuff. But absolutely, there's going to be people asked to move Thursday, asked to move Saturday, or, barring officials from other officials associations. That happens a lot. There's going to be a lot of that. And look, I just, I'm tough on them on Fridays. I expect folks to be tough on me when I'm on the diamond. But at the end of the game, man, I'm always shaking their hand, telling them how much I appreciate them because, without them, we're not playing.
All right, let's talk about Georgiana. Big ball game. You can put that 2-0 mark behind you because really from a playoff or postseason perspective, it's irrelevant. But obviously it's very relevant from a psyche perspective. What kind of ball game do we look for against the Panthers?
It's going to be tough. And you're right. You can't really say it's like NFL preseason, right? Because it counts. I mean, those first 2 games count. They are for, like you said, psyche. They're for guys getting reps and believing in themselves, and therefore trying to polish a product that you need in the region play. So you're right. They're not for nothing. However, they do not impact your playoffs, and you can't win a championship without getting in. So obviously you got to take every single region game one at a time and get it done. I will say that it's going to be a tough game. Georgiana's a great football team. Their talent all across the field. They got guys that can run. They got guys that can throw. They got guys that can catch. And they're big up front. They struggled with a 5A Greenville, but, I mean, they were 5A. And, I mean, Georgiana's 1A. They beat Arrington last week. Arrington's always a good football team. We're going to have to play a really good game to win. Now, do I think we can win? Absolutely. I think we've got kids that can play too. And I think if we go out there and execute our plan offensively and defensively, and we don't have any screw ups in the kicking game, I feel like we'll look. All you can ask is be in that fourth quarter, right? So if we're in it in the fourth quarter, give ourselves a chance to win. I think that's what we're looking for right now.
First 2 games of the year, as we mentioned, do not impact postseason. So sometimes there is a coach that will hold back on allowing another team to see what he might present on, in this particular case, a Thursday night. Are there some new kinks that we might see on Thursday?
I mean, maybe, but I'm opposite. I want to throw everything at you. And you got to prepare for everything when you see me. I'm kind of that way. I don't believe in, really, I don't believe in holding anything back. Because if you're having to practice for it, and I've done it twice in 2 games, that's something you got to practice for. You're spending time on it, and but like I said, this offense is evolving. We're learning it every week. I mean, we probably got 20% in right now. So yes, every week you're going to see something new about what we do. Just simply because our guys are still transitioning and learning the offense. Defensively, like I said, I don't expect to see anything different other than, a lot of the same, man. We're going to play hard. I don't know if you were there Friday night, if people saw Friday night, but, option football has really gone out the window, and Daleville ran a little bit of option football, man. And our defense, they played it perfect, and when you don't see it all the time and the guys play it right, you're just real proud of them for that. So I don't expect anything different from those guys other than just keep on playing hard. And like I said, offensively, yeah, there's going to be some new things just because we continue to evolve.
Coach, congratulations. You can't get better than 2-0 after 2 games. So congratulations on the big wins, and we're hoping for the same on Thursday against Georgiana.
Absolutely. We just need our community to come out. We're the only show in town, I believe. There's nothing else going on that night. I think we'll have a big crowd. Like I said, I mean, Georgiana's going to be a ranked football team coming in here. So we just need our folks from Florala to come out and support like they have been. And hopefully we bring home that victory.
Coach, good luck.
Thank you, Robert.